With Nigeria's economy dwindling in recent times, many states in the country are finding it difficult to pay salaries. From the north to the south, east to the west, socio-economic activities have been grounded by protesting workers and pensioners because their salaries, pension and gratuities remain unpaid for months. Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu now joins us from Abuja. Thanks for joining us on TVC News Hour Nigeria. Now, before we go to the issues of salaries, arrears and non-payment of arrears, what are your thoughts on the recent threats to 7 governors of the Southeast and South-South, which you are part of, by the Niger Delta Avengers on the release of pro-Biafran agitators?
Well, thank you very much. In the first place, I want to put it on record that as a governor, I don't have the constitutional right to detain pro-Biafra agitators, and that issue is not properly before me, as it were. But I'm also worried about the disposition of our brothers who call themselves Niger Delta Avengers. It is proper for us at this hour to define our objective and define what we intend to achieve. Because what goes round comes round. The entire country is looking for a way out of our economic situation, and everybody, whether you are in the creek or on the streets of Lagos or Abuja or Azikwe Road in Abia State, we call on you now to exhibit some patriotism and then help Nigeria to get out of the woods, because the activities is putting us in a more difficult and precarious situation. And I really do not understand what we intend to achieve by all that.
All right, now to the issue of focus. Workers and pensioners in some states have taken to the streets over unpaid salaries and pension. How have you been able to maintain industrial harmony in your state?
Well, it's also very difficult and tough everywhere in Abia, as it is in other parts of Nigeria. But I think that this is a time for leaders to be very transparent and sincere. If you recall, a few months ago, ICPC came out clearly to say that Abia State was one of the states that handled their bailout funds properly. And my people understand that I am not prepared to eat their bread today or their bread for tomorrow. If I get the resources, if our fortunes improve, I will certainly pay them. My father was a civil servant and later a pensioner, and I understand what it is. I feel their pain with them, and I am hopeful that we all can hold our hands together and pull through this difficult period together. I'm sure that in the next 12 months, our economy will bounce back.
And what plans or what structures are you putting in place to boost your IGR?
Yeah, thank you very much. The only way to go now is to look towards IGR and also agriculture. And I'm lucky to be one of the few states that are strong in small and medium scale enterprises. In IGR, we are looking at it from 2 flanks. One is to do automation and bring ICT to bear on our systems of collection and banking. The other one is to plug leakages, because more often than not, people pay, but it never gets to the coffers. So we must find a way to bridge the gap between the point at which taxes are paid and then the government coffers. And we are working on these 2 flanks simultaneously, and hopefully we will get there very soon.
How are you blocking these gaps? Because I'm sure people want to know this.
One way of doing it is to reduce the interface of man and cash. We don't want to get too many hands involved in collecting our taxes and our levies. So we try to deploy ICT. We try to do direct lodgement in banks. And once you don't get people to get in contact with too much of cash and interface with people, you can be able to plug the leakages. The other one is to look seriously at having a warehouse account, what some people may like to call the TSA, where all revenues are tracked, and then MDAs and those involved in collection can get paid from that warehouse account.
Aba is seen as a commercial hub of the Southeast. What efforts are you making to make the city a major market for export and improve its infrastructure?
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Most people in Nigeria know that I resumed duty in Aba 2 days after I was swearing in, and as I speak, we have retooled and done 18 roads within the Aba environment. For the first time, we introduced street lights. In Aba, we have done over 1,000 street lights, and most of them are in Aba. And our aim is to extend business hours so that people can do trade and commerce, which is the main activity in Aba. I'm also happy to announce that we are working hard on security. Our security architecture has improved tremendously, and we are collaborating with our neighboring states. As you know, Abia is at the confluence of Southeast and South-South states. Our major concern now is to improve access from Akwa Ibom on Ikotegbene Road, which happens to be a federal road, and also access from Port Harcourt into Aba through Port Harcourt Road, which is another federal road. These two roads are key to the commercial activity. And as I speak, I want to announce also that in a few days' time, Citraco will be doing the major inroad into our area, which is Fox Road. That is our way of saying that we believe that road infrastructure is the main wheel on which trade and commerce flourishes. And beyond that, our shoe cluster and our garment cluster will soon receive a big boost, because we are looking at automation of the shoemaking process and the garment making process. And in the days ahead, we want to be able to say with some modicum of exactitude how long it will take for us to produce X number of shoes. Our desire is to supply shoes to NYSC, Nigerian military, Nigerian Navy, and other uniformed organizations in Nigeria. And since the past 1 year, I've been the #1 marketer of Made in Aba products, and all my dresses from day one until the day my first tenure will conclude will be all Made in Aba dresses. And I'm making a strong statement to say that we make the best in terms of garments and shoes that can be in Africa.
All right, quickly, Governor, before we let you go, your government kick-started the free feeding program, that's a meal a day, and you pledged to sustain it. Now, why did you decide to key into this initiative? Are you getting any support from the federal government?
I'm happy that there is a robust coincidence between what we were thinking and what the federal government is also thinking. Our concern is that I understand I'm a biochemist, and that within the first year and the first 6-7 years, if a child is unable to get good nutrition, it may at the end of the day affect the mental output of that child going forward. And it's irreversible. Once you're unable to give the child the best of nutrition, the best environment, and the best of training within year 1 and 7 years, you may not be able to recover that. And that is why we have placed it as #1 priority or above the other things we need to do in retooling and doing infrastructure in our primary schools. We are going to sustain it because the initiative is a homegrown one, and it's going to be driven by private sector initiative, 80%, and then 20% contribution by government. We started by doing warehouses in the 3 senatorial zone, which we call our food store. These food stores are supposed to be replicated in the 17 local governments. And our farmers and our businessmen and our public-spirited individuals are urged to make contributions into the food store. The question we ask is, our farmers, won't you be able to feed your children? And their response was in the affirmative. And we are just trying to bridge the gap between the table of the very rich, where leftover food ends up in the dustbin, and the table of those who don't have anything at all. And all of this took a bearing from our culture and our psychological circumstances as Igbo people, where you can easily look through the window of your house and beckon on the child of your neighbor to come and eat or from your table. We don't believe in wasting food, and that is what I intend to drive going forward. So
okay.
I know that this initiative will be self-sustaining. My own is to provide leadership and also to run strongly on my initiative to make sure that it stands. But the response I'm getting from people shows me that it will be sustained. All the poultry farmers in Abia State are contributing.
Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, many thanks for your time on TVC News, Our Nigeria.